Welcome to the Prescott Home Value Report through August 2024. Brought to you by the Prescott Pickle Lady, Diane Bro. As you can probably tell, I am not the Pickle Lady. That's me in the bottom right-hand corner. My name's Randall, and Pickle Lady has authorized me to go through the following slides with you. As always, we start in the city of Prescott with the median sales price per square foot. Now in this chart, each dot represents the median sales price for that month. Blue is last year and red is this year. So we get to compare this August with last August. When we do that, we see that we're running about 1% higher than last year. We've been pretty flat for a while. There are times when we kind of dip below. It looks like since March of this year, we've kind of managed to stay a little bit ahead of last year, but this month we kind of narrowed the gain there. So we are looking at 1% appreciation over last year. This is volume. So again, red is this year, blue is last year. Each dot represents the results for that month. In this case, the transaction volume. That is the number of transactions that closed in that month. We have been running at about a little less than 10%, or maybe a little more than 10% from last year, and that pattern has not changed this month. You see there's a little gap. We're just running about 10% lower than last year and have for some time now. Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? Well, to answer that question, we use the pending ratio analysis. When I ran these numbers, there were 708 homes on the market. Of those, 607 are still active and 101 of them were pending. Well, 101 is 14% of 708, so our pending ratio is 14%. If you look up 14%, our handy-dandy colored chart here, it'll tell you that a 14% pending ratio means that we have a strong buyer's market. And it's been that way for a few months now. Breaking that out by price point gives you a chart that looks something like this. The blue bars at the bottom are the transaction volumes. And over a million or million plus is now our biggest one. Used to be real tiny. Biggest one, I'm thinking Randall needs to move this chart over to the right a little bit and break that up a bit, but I'll get to that eventually. So the barely any transactions, the 100s or 200s, which is typical. You get into the 300s, that looks about like maybe 25 transactions. The dot above, that tells you the pending ratio for homes in that price point. So we had 25 homes that closed in the 300s in Prescott. The pending ratio looks like it's about 22, so it's a buyer's market. Typically, the lower the price, the more of a seller's market it is. The lower priced homes tend to go first, and you can see that the 300s. Right, these transaction volumes are so low, I'd blow those off. You start with the 300s, that's a buyer's market, and then it kind of declines from there. 500s, interestingly enough, is actually an extreme buyer's market. And then the rest of them kind of sit around in this strong buyer's market range. So not a lot of variation by price point except at the very lowest price points in Prescott. How long does it take for a home to sell in Prescott? Answer is 5.6 months. That is the average from the time that you sign the contract to you get a purchase offer and that goes under contract. So 5.6 months until a contract, so a little over 5.5 months. Escrows have been running about a month or 28 days. So total from start to finish, 6.5 months. So anybody out there is telling you it's a seller's market, tell them they're full of it. Tell them to come talk to me. All right, moving now to Prescott Valley. We're back to the median sales price per square foot. This is a very boring chart, has been for a few months. A little excitement. The blue line actually outstripped the red line. So this month we're actually showing a 3% decline year over year. Interesting to see if that pops back up again. We had a little bump last year. We did not have that bump this year, just kind of still remained flat. Not a lot to scream about, but because this month change is very small, it's just comparing to last month, we had a big jump last month, and then the following month in September it went down a little bit. So we'll keep an eye on that, but for the most part, that's a boring chart. The pending ratio in Prescott Valley is as follows: 310 homes in inventory. 55 of those are already pending. That's 18%. 18% is still a strong buyer's market, getting to the cusp of a buyer's market, but right now it is also a strong buyer's market. Breaking that out by price point, there was nothing in the 100s and 200s. You get into the 300s, that is an extreme buyer's market, which is just weird. Maybe the homes got on the market late in the month and they just didn't have a chance to pen. That should be like more up here. I'm thinking that's kind of an anomaly. Didn't have a whole lot of those, so maybe that's just an aberration. Then the chart kind of hangs out in buyer's market, 400s, 500s, 600s, which is the bread and butter out in Prescott Valley, and then it becomes a strong. From that point, from the 700s on, the higher the price point, the more of a seller's market it is. That is a really weird looking chart. I haven't seen one like that, I don't think, ever. Not sure what's going on. They got some weird dynamics right now between buyers who are getting priced out of Prescott and moving over to Prescott Valley. That may indicate the reason why there's such strong demand for higher priced homes out in PV. Not sure about that. We'll keep an eye on that. Homes take about 3.5 months to get to contract in Prescott Valley, and their escrows are running a little over 3 weeks. So the total from the time that you sign the contract until you close is 4.3 months, just shy of 4.5 months. And now we get to the highlights. In Prescott, median sales price per square foot was $326. That is a little drop, 3% from last month. Only a 1% change since last year. Prescott Valley's at $286. Small drop, looking a little worse compared to last year, but that's just because of what happened last year mostly. Volumes, we're doing 109. We had 109 transactions in the month of August. That is a 10% change from last month. So a bump from last month, but still 11% less than last year, about the same gap we've been seeing every month. Over in Prescott Valley, we had 72 transactions that closed. That is down 13% from last year and 12%, 13% from last month and 12% from last year. Our inventory right now in Prescott is 708. That's about a quarter lower than it ought to be compared to what was going on before COVID. We had a 1% drop from last month, so essentially unchanged. 5% bump over in Prescott Valley. We're up to 310 homes on the market. Months to contract, we are at 5.6 months in Prescott. That's down 0.6 months. It was a little over 6 months just to get to a contract. Now we're looking at 5.6 months to get to a contract in Prescott. 3.5 in PV, and that is 0.7, about 3/4 of a month more than last month. Look, if you like this kind of stuff, we got lots more for you in the Prescott Home Value Report. This is just a summary. We go into specific subdivisions and just a whole bunch of stuff. So lots of slicing and dicing. So I would encourage you to download that report and get it in full. We update this report every month, but it is not the only report we do. We also have what we call the Appraiser's Eye View, which is the last 6 months of the latest comps. And it's broken out by subdivision. In fact, Prescott Lakes, we break it out by neighborhood. So it's very, very detailed. This is an example of what you'll see in the chart. This would be a subdivision. It is sorted by price per square foot.
the number of months that it took the home to sell, square footage, the year it was built, how many stories, how many acres, and whether the listing agent is reporting the home having a view or not. Using this, you can look at all the different comps that occurred. You can see the average down here. So using this, it's a really good tool to figure out what you should be paying for a home, or where you might want to price a home that you are selling. So a really cool tool. We even have a video which goes through how to use this information to come up with value estimates for homes.
We do a whole lot of tools like this, all of them really very cool for both buyers and sellers. And one thing I should point out is you can't get these from any place else. These are exclusive. You can only get them from the Prescott Pickle Lady.
And all of this is part of our page. We call it Prescott by the Numbers, or more commonly, the Pickle page. So if you're on the Pickle page, you know the Pickle page. But if you're not the Pickle page, well, you should get to the Pickle page. And you do that by subscribing. We update it every month. If you subscribe, we will send you a monthly email update with the link, so you can go download all the reports that you want. Even if you're not all that interested in getting every single month, just having access to these tools will give you a real leg up when it comes to the real estate game. I hope you found this informative and maybe slightly entertaining, and we look forward to seeing you next month.
Please take a moment to look below and find the button that'll take you to the Pickle page. We'll see you there.